In politics, he served in the Obama White House, and now he wants to serve the people of Prince George's County. His name is Paul Monteiro, and one of his passions is education. He's running to be the next county executive.
Talk about the campaign. It's been several months, how the campaign is going, what you're hearing out there from the constituents.
I think from the constituents, we're hearing, thank you for running, because we at least want to have other options to provide leadership to the county in the future. If anything, there's a fatigue. The usual suspects run for these jobs. We choose from the usual suspects and put them in. And 4 out of 5 voters don't vote at all. And partly because I think they're dissatisfied with the choices they usually have. So there's, I think, been a relief to have, and now the field has grown to 9. Voters have options this year, and it's been going well in terms of, as we meet people, talk about how we would run county government, my experience running large organizations, the fact that I'm one of the only, if not the only person running who's a graduate of Prince George's County Public Schools, to have someone who's homegrown, but also who's seen the rest of the country and to have experience running large organizations. It's been very positive.
And you mentioned that it's a crowded field. Indeed it is, 9 Democrats, 1 Republican, most of whom probably don't have a lot of name recognition. There are some who do have, I don't say household names, but they're more well-known.
Yeah.
How do you overcome that?
Yeah, I think the way is sort of building our own name recognition in the sense of getting out in front of people, going to where they are to signal why I'm running, what I'm about, and how we're going to win with their help. Just level setting and making sure people are aware. 4 out of 5 registered Democrats don't vote in these elections. So it's the mountain to overcome is that apathy is the biggest competitor. These other folks that may be well known, I think the second and equally important question is, well, what do you think of that person? You know, okay, you've heard their name. What do you think of that person? And maybe the tertiary question is, have they done a good job when you put them in office last time? Name one thing they've done, you know, in their time in office, because several of the people running, as you know, have long records in elected office. I think there's an opening there.
I know I've read somewhere, at least I think I have, where you talk about early education and the importance of expound upon that.
Yeah, all the research we know, and I used to be the head of AmeriCorps Vista, the Domestic Peace Corps, all the research points to, if you get 0 to 3 wrong, birth to 3, if you get it wrong in the sense of exposure to violence for that child, malnourishment, lack of sufficient words per day that the child's hearing, enrichment, if you get that wrong and miss that moment, the development of the child subsequent to 3 years old, you see just consistent lag in terms of literacy, readiness to learn, ability to learn, because you got that early childhood part wrong. Governments then try to catch up, and it's a very expensive proposition to catch up. It's actually the smarter, savvier, and I think fairer thing to do to say to parents with young children who may need assistance supporting them, what's going on with the nurse-family partnership? What's going on with the partnership with our public schools so these students get to Head Start ready to learn? Keeping them, these children, in a place of preserving their ability to stay on track. Because if you fall behind in that critical window, it's a very expensive proposition. And some would argue you can't catch up. Once they're off track, literacy, you know, by certain levels, the amount of remediation it's going to take, and the price point for that remediation is incredibly high.
So have we been failing in that area, as you see it?
I would say, like on a lot of levels in the county, we're missing the mark. I wouldn't say failing. I would just say there are things and supports that other jurisdictions, other counties have put in place. And to be clear, not all of them require money as much as alignment of resources. And I think we missed the mark. There's some low-hanging fruit there to be sure we're supporting the youngest citizens among us. And the fact that we lost control of our own Head Start system in this county is telling, right? In a very dramatic way, we lost control because we didn't have our house in order. And Head Start, as everybody knows, is for those kids that need a Head Start. And so I think we missed the mark. I wouldn't say failing.
I was going to ask about, you bringing up the education system,
Yeah.
if you're satisfied with what's going on. There have been some, so I guess you're not satisfied, a number of controversies with Head Start, with students not being safe in schools. There have been controversies about the way the school board is put in place.
Right.
Your thoughts about those items?
Sure, this is the #1 issue just by dollars. Where does most of the county budget go? To schools. Am I satisfied with the level of performance? No. As a graduate, a proud graduate of the public school system, I had some wonderful teachers who went out of their way to help me and give me a good education to be the first in my family to graduate high school. So every day, in every way I can, it will be committed to making sure the services are there, because people pay a pretty penny for county services. As the taxes go up, services seem to go down. I have a vision of this county because I grew up here, and it gave me opportunities that I'm still blessed by, to work for President Obama and other things. I recognize the transformative power of education.
To learn more about the campaign, log on to pollforprincegeorges.com.